the Wednesday practice. Very much a traditional game week, 28 hours to really install and practice most of the game plan. And I thought it was a good 2 days of work. Questions?
Are you going to designate a captain for this game, like you did with Marcus?
I have not thought of that yet. I thought when I first designated Marcus captain was the possibility of him remaining a captain for the rest of the season, which may be the case. We'll announce that tomorrow in terms of what we may do. But I really can't say enough positives about how Marcus goes about his business every day in terms of how he prepares, how he practices. Certainly, you see the results on game day.
Just your initial thoughts on the quarterbacks and how they fared today?
I think it's hard to get two guys ready. Neither one is getting all the reps I think they would want if you asked them that. I could envision at this point that we playing both quarterbacks in the game, but we'll ultimately make that decision tomorrow.
Would that be performance based or based on how you do it with the running backs? That kind of rotate. Like how would you?
I think it always starts with some predetermined rotation, and then after that, then you have to have a feel for what's going on in the game, and you either continue with the rotation, or if you feel like one guy gives you a better chance to change the game, then you give them that opportunity to do that.
So defensively, how much do you have to scale things back for the secondary, or do you not?
Explain to me what you mean by that.
Things that you want to do as far as
Oh, you mean scale them back?
coverages, like offensively, you put in all the game plans that you want, the system. Do you have to pull back maybe some of the things you want to do defensively with maybe some of the blitzes, blitz packages, and cover things because it's so inexperienced back there?
It's not so much the blitzes and the fronts, it's really the coverages. Now, the coverages are tied into the fronts and the run fits and things like that, but we don't play an overabundance of different coverages on first and second down. It's really third down where things get a little bit more complicated. So we just got to make sure that what we're asking the players to do, they're capable of doing. We may teach one player one thing and another player another, and situationally they may play within the game, but you certainly have to gauge how much you're asking a younger or lesser experienced player to really execute in the game, knowing that at some point in that game you're going to see something new that they've game planned for us.
Were you able to get a closer look at Ruhan today, and how's he faring with the adjustment?
I actually spent more time with the offense today than I did the defense. I know, speaking of the defensive coaches yesterday, that they were pleased for his first day. And again, you got to be careful of the expectations with a guy who's just out there for the first day. But we'll look at the tape and see how he did. I know Coach Wilson is with him every play, whether he's coaching him as he's taking the reps or he's standing right next to him when he's not.
Kyle, as good as you guys were against the run the first 6 games, and then to see it fall off that drastically against Houston, 211 rushing yards. Was that Houston specific, or is that a concern moving forward?
I think it's always a concern when we have a game like that. It's very uncharacteristic of what we've been here on defense. So, we're working hard to correct it. We got to do a better job in every area of what we do on defense, and that's from how precisely we blitz the formations we see, to how we play our fronts, to how we finish with our tackling system, and I think we got to do all those things better. It's similar in terms of how you correct it to the game before when we had a sack issue. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of things that you have to do better, and now with the game like that, there's a lot of things we need to do better, and we got to do them better quickly.
Kyle, what gives you faith that David Malewski at the 3 technique can give you consistently what you need there?
I think David can play anywhere on the line, and he has proven in every situation we've given him that he's been able to perform at a high level, play with a high motor. Darius will be our starting 3 technique, and David will play at that position. He'll play on third down. He can play on the defensive end positions if we need him to be. We actually played him at nose guard. So the ability to play all 4 is unique, but if anybody can do it, David can, and I think he's proven already that he deserves the opportunity to do it.
You see it safety this week in practice, people on the injury report and trying to get new guys ready, just generally at safety. What do you see in the last couple of days?
I see guys that are working hard. I think our entire defense is working very hard to improve, and they know that last game is uncharacteristic of what we've done. We just talked about the rushing yardage issue. And they're determined and focused. I like what I've seen in practice this week.
We see the offensive line improve from the Louisville game when we talked about to this past game. rushing for 200, not giving up a sack. Probably weren't in a lot of hurries either, right?
I thought they did a nice job. I thought they did a nice job, and I think every game is going to present different challenges. You know, this is a team that's going to be very, very big and strong on the inside. On third down, they take two of their linebackers, they put them on the outside, so they're going to have a unique level of speed to rush the passer. I know from listening to some of the things that Matt has said that that's a point of emphasis for them, is rushing the passer better and getting to the quarterback, and they like to drop people in coverage. So, you know, I think this week will be a different challenge than last week. You know, last week's success in those areas is a positive, but it only becomes an overall positive if we build on it.
Kyle, PJ Walker has gotten some comparisons to, I guess, a young Teddy Bridgewater when he was at that stage. Do you see the similarities?
I think they're different types of players. I think PJ runs around. There's more designed runs, it appears, for him. Teddy's a little bit more the traditional pocket passer. So I don't know that I've watched enough of them back to back to say that I would compare them. I think PJ's a good young quarterback, and he's gonna present a lot of challenges to our defense this week.
Concerns about Goodwin, we've talked about it, his size holding up, 31 carries last week. Would you be hesitant to go 30, 35 again this week if you could? Do you worry about that at all?
I don't. I think his whole career he's carried the ball a lot. That he's been the guy who has shouldered the burden of the carries since he's probably a sophomore in high school at Madison High School. So I don't concern myself with it. I think he's in good shape. I think Justin's done a good job in our program. I think, you know, we lift, we run during the year through the season to maintain the things that we build in the summertime, and certainly later in his career he'll be bigger and stronger. That's just the way it works. But I don't have any concern about him carrying the ball this week.
Thanks, Kyle.